using the humblest and simplest of tools, combining textures and colors, fabrics and fiber. We tell the stories of our lives one stitch at a time. Welcome to Antique Needleworkers. Well, hello and welcome to Antique Needleworkers. My name is Shellie and this is my channel about cross stitch and all my crafty endeavors, and I'm so glad that you joined me here today. If this is your first time here, I hope that while you're here that you will find something that inspires you in your making, and I hope that you'll come back and join again. And if you are a longtime subscriber, I thank you so much for coming time and time again. Well, hello, my friends. You can tell where I'm at. I'm at the Florida house. I'm so excited to be here in the sun. It has been so enjoyable, and I'm here for a couple more weeks still. Whoops. I about knocked the camera over, but that is why there's been a little gap in my filming. But today it's time to catch up. So I have a brand new release I want to share with you today. I've been doing tons of model stitching, but I do have things to show you. I've been stitching and crafting along with that. I don't have mountains, but I do have things to show you, and I want to tell you what I've been doing and tell you things that are coming up. And so let's dive right in. So I landed about 2 weeks ago down here at the Florida house, and we came down here and we needed that break. And so we got here and straight away just started to enjoy ourselves. The weather's beautiful. It's hot, but I really don't care when you're sitting right here on the water, and it's just so beautiful. I can handle the heat. So spent some pool time. We've had friends from Ohio that have been down here and they've come to visit. As a matter of fact, this afternoon we have guests coming that they have a condominium down from where our house is, and they are Ohio friends, and they're stopping over today. And so we'll have company this afternoon, and then we have friends from Texas that will be coming by to visit us next week. So, but we've just been really enjoying the Florida house and having a little downtime, even though I brought my whole office with me. I do have an office here, and so I brought everything in case orders came in and things like that. And of course, I've continued to model stitch and working on future projects. So that's what I've been doing down here as well. Tuesday, this past Tuesday, I was invited to a local stitch group by Jenny Massini. You might follow her on Instagram. And I was so thrilled there's such a vibrant community down here. Peggy from the Crafty Framer has such a vibrant community of stitchers. There are people all over this area. It's just amazing how vibrant it is. And I got invited to the stitch group, and I went Tuesday, and it was so fun. Got to meet a bunch of people. Unfortunately, Jenny wasn't able to be there. She had actually invited me the week before, but I had just gotten here, so I wasn't able to go to stitch group. So I went this Tuesday, and Jenny had surgery. So Jenny, I'm thinking of you and praying for your recovery. So excited that you've got that behind you, but I'm hoping to meet her before I leave here. But that was so fun. I walked right in, and there are 3 Janes that are in the local stitch group down here, and one of the Janes, I sat across from her, and she had on the brag table, and I'll put a picture of it here, but she had brought her exquisite lace pattern from Works by ABC, Arlene Cohen, my sweet dear friend. And I said, oh my goodness. I said, that is Arlene's exquisite lace. And I said, she's a really good friend of mine. Can I take a picture of it and a picture of you and send it to her? She's going to be so excited that I walked in and her baby is sitting on the, the table. And so I took a picture of Jane and I put it on social media and shared it with Arlene, and she was so thrilled. As designers, when we see our patterns out in the wild and people stitching them and sharing them, boy, that is exciting. And so that was so neat to walk in and I'm like, oh, that's my good friend's baby right there. So that was a lot of fun. And then I went and located. I had told you back in the winter when I was here, the Crafty Framer has been there for years and years and years, and it was just minutes from my house. And then they were having some issues with their landlord was upping the rent, and it was astronomical what it was going up to. And so they had said that they were closing, and I was so disappointed. And then I got the email that they actually had found another location, and hence they were not going to close. And guess what? It's even closer to my house. I think it was 12 minutes from the driveway to the old location, and I think it's about 6 or 7 minutes from my driveway to the new location. So I'm very excited. And since I had talked about them in the winter, Paula and Carlton that own Craft Gallery in Findlay, Ohio near me, Paula watched a video and she said, Shellie, those are my best friends. And I was like, oh, what a small world that, two shop owners, and I love Paula and Carlton. They are just precious. And to know that Peggy and her husband are their best friends, and they are my LNS here at the Florida house, that was just so neat. So anyway, so they are closer. So I went and located the new shop. I'm going to go over and visit here in a couple days and just go say hi and check out the new shop, and I'll take some video for the next video, and maybe pick up some threads or make sure there's nothing I don't or can't live without. So, and there was so many people that were stitching things at Stitch Group the other day, and one of the other Janes was stitching this beautiful Christmas piece, and there was this beading and all this stuff, and she said, oh yeah, it used to hang behind the register, and I was just so inspired. So they're, again, models, they sell you on everything. So but that's what a lot of people were stitching things that were models in the shop, so it was really kind of neat. So I did that, and so stitching, model stitching, hanging out by the pool, hanging out with Mr. Fry. That's what I've been doing. So, and speaking of him, I had promised you a video. I was waiting for the diner inside the new garage to get finished, and before we left, it wasn't finished. They were putting in the counters and putting in the the cabinets and things like that. And then when we get back, Jerry is custom resin pouring the counters on top of the counters. And so as soon as that gets done, I am going to do the man cave tour. So this one's for the guys. And so that will happen when I get back in a couple weeks from the Florida house. So I just want, I didn't shun it. They just weren't finished, and I didn't want to, I wanted it to be finished and ready for its debut, including the diner inside there when I did the video. So, but anyway, how about I share with you my brand new release. The next and newest release, and it is live and up on my website and on my Etsy shop, is the next Be Ye, and that is Be Ye Creative. And this is the model. And of course, we have to be creative, or we would feel like, I mean, you know, if I'm not creative, I just don't feel like I'm living. And so it had to make its debut. So I put some of my favorite things on here. Tomato pincushion with, look at the tiny strawberry. I love the little itty bitty strawberry on there. Of course, we all love thread and scissors and thimbles and needles. And so anyhow, this is the newest of the Be Ye series. This is the pattern right here. And you can pick it up on my website. You can pick it up in a hard copy or in a PDF. And you can also pick a PDF up on my Etsy shop. One of the neat things that I finally figured out how to do, and I figured this out with the Summer Biscornu, is how to do the drop downs and put all the different things, because you can get the pattern, but guess what? You can get the thread pack. You can get the bit of bling that Jersey Girl has done for me. And I'm gonna show you these things up close in just a minute. I have linen, and I will never, ever forget my Ada girls ever again. And so you can get everything you need to stitch Be Ye Creative right on the website. Now let me show you an up close. This is the back. Isn't this so pretty? This is a some quilters cotton that is Edita Sitar laundry basket quilts is where I got the fabric for the back. But this is the bit of bling that Jersey Girl Stitch Co. created for the pillow this time, and I put it on the back because the front's a little bit busier than normal this time, and so I wanted to be able to showcase it where you could see it. So you can get the bit of bling and all the accoutrement, no matter if you're a linen or an Ada stitcher, and it's done with 7 DMCs. Did I just say that? It is done with 7 weeks dye works. I apologize. And so those are all available on the website as of today. On the back of the pattern, what I meant to say is there are 7 weeks dye works, but I do have the DMC equivalent on the back. I do not have a DMC thread pack on the website, but I do offer the equivalent on the pattern. So that is Be Ye Creative, and I hope that you are excited about it. I am excited about it. I did the green to look like the top of the tomato this time, and I love the little chain border. I'm kind of fond of that. And you hear that? My husband must have just walked outside. The alarm system showed that the door was open and closing. So, but thimbles, thread needle, thread, all the things we love about being creative. So that is my new pattern release. I'm proud of it, love it very, very much. I'll be talking a little bit more. I have a whole bunch of releases that will be coming out in the short term, but how about I show you what I've been stitching on that I can show you. Okay, I actually have been working, I was inspired by my friend Jackie, the Comfort Stitcher. She is stitching the Beatrix Potter sampler, and I started this and I've showed it to you once before, and this is by Stitchy Box Stamplers. And I am stitching mine on 46 count Zweigart cream. And what I've done, let me grab a few of these. I have a huge pouch, and this is not all of them, but I wanted it to all be done in silk, so I grabbed a bunch of different golds, whether it was the bronzy, crusty, old looking gold or the brownie golds. I picked a Vera Soie, Soie d'Alger. I've picked a whole bunch of Belle Soie golds, any golds silks that I had in any shade. I love the name of this one, Her Crown. The newest one that I just stitched that I'm going to show you, I did it with Her Crown and more of Vera Soie's, and I have a whole bunch more over here in my Carry Keeper. I'll show you my keeper in just a minute, but this is my progress. I added a new Quaker to it right there to the right. So now I've got, this is the top left corner of the piece. It's right here that I'm working. Again, maybe I hold that for a minute so that you can get a good look at it. But I love Quakers. You know why? Because every one of these little Quakers is like a brand new win. It's a little finish. You know what this reminds me of is Hannah Campbell from Hands Across the Sea. I love that sampler, and because every one of the little like cartouche areas, it's like a little win. And this is the one, and I was excited to do this one because this motif right here, I'm gonna turn it around. Does that not look like a palm tree? I absolutely love it. So it had to be the perfect one to do while I was here at the Florida house. And I'm doing this one thread over 2 linen threads. As I said, on 46 count of Zweigart cream using my own conversion. I got that idea from Jackie from Comfort Stitching. She did the same thing, and that's where I got the idea. I think this, the Stitchy Box sampler, the Beatrix Potter, it called for 2 different colors, and Jackie had talked about how her favorite colors were fall colors and things like that, and she just grabbed a bunch of threads and created a big ring, and I was like, oh, I want to do what my friend's doing. Oh, yes. And this sampler you are going to see when I show you my haul. I have a little bit of haul that I have got. I had everything shipped here before I left. Anything I bought, I had it sent down here. And most of my haul was inspired by Jackie. And well, yeah, all of my haul was inspired by Jackie and this sampler. And so I'll show you that in just a minute. So that is one of the things I've been working on. And then the other thing I put a little work on was Cicada Sampler by Cosford Rise. And you know that this is one of my all-time favorite samplers because of the content. It just, I went and gushed on and on and on about this in another video. So I'll just leave it there. I'm using all of the called for colors, and I'm using 36 count Vintage Country Mocha, and I believe that that was the called for color, and this is where I'm at. I put some flowers in. I worked a little over here and just got a little bit of stitching in on this. Don't you love Mr. Possum? And the cotton blossoms are so pretty. So just a little bit of chugging along on this. And so I worked on that. Like I said, I have been working extensively on model stitching. And so I'm very deep into my getting ready for next year's market. You know, I know it's only July, but you know, you got to be working so far in advance. So to be able to catch my own stitching, yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot, but I do get private stitching in. And as I said, this is in one of my carry keepers. Everything was in that. Isn't it beautiful? And so that is in that keeper. And then I was stitching on this when I went to my stitch day the other day. This is the Friends Are the Flowers Friendship Sampler 2021 by Mill on the Floss. And I am stitching this with my friends Lorraine and Robin and Michelle. And I worked on this a little bit. And I have told you this before, the girls did a conversion to flower threads, and I will, as I've done in the past, I will hold that up right here. You can screenshot that. These are the DMCs that are listed on the pattern, and this is the flower thread conversion right here. And I absolutely love it. And I meant to say for the Cicada Sampler, I am stitching that one thread over 2 linen threads on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha. I know I told you what the linen was, but I didn't tell you how I was stitching it. But anyway, I am stitching Friends Are the Flowers. I'm stitching 1 flower thread over 2 32 count linen thread, it's 32 count, Dirty Teacup by Needle and Flax, and I'm stitching it 1 thread over 2 linen threads, and this is where I am at. I have brought the border around and worked on it. I was working on that the other day, and I completely finished, including the hand. She was headless, handless, and legless last time, and I finished my sweet little friend here on the sampler, and I worked a little bit on the border, but this is where I'm at. And I love it. And Dirty Teacup, I have to say, is just, you could stitch anything on Dirty Teacup. It is, Rachel has just created such a beautiful linen. And I also have this in a carry keeper. This was the winter carry keeper. And I worked on that. Now that's all my stitching that I have done. But then I did some knitting, and I have been working on Butterfly Kisses socks. And this is by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady. And you can't see it super well here, but you'll be able to see it in my stitching. It looks like butterflies are down 2 lines of the pattern, and you can get Kay's patterns on Ravelry. And I am using from Leap of Faith Yarns. I love Leap of Faith Yarns. She's on Etsy. Go and check her out. I'm using her fingering weight 75% merino, 25% nylon in the color Fruit Punch with a Twist. This is my yarn, and it's on my little, isn't that cool? It's my little yarn caddy. Beautiful, gorgeous, lovely yarn. And I have got this, I've got it all the way down and halfway down the foot. So I worked on this. Let me get it up close so that you can see those butterflies. Can you see the butterflies? Aren't they so pretty? And they really, it really, those lines going, the self-stripingness of this really helps set off those butterflies. I really think it was a really super good choice of yarn to do this pattern with. And I showed this. I created, I don't think, oh, I do have my knitting bag. I made these knitting bags for myself and my friend Lisa Duffin and my friend Carrie, my sweet bestie, Carrie, Tiger Lily Designs. And I made one for Lisa, Lady Huzzah Presents, when they came for StitchCon, and I kitted this whole thing up for us to make these socks together. And so I worked on the foot of that. So I'd say I'm about a third of, no, more like halfway down the instep. So just about halfway to go on the instep and do the toe, and this one sock is going to be done. And I knit everything exactly according to pattern, except for, of course, I did the Shellie's heel. And so if you haven't seen my heel before, this is what it looks like. It's so pretty, and it's a garter stitch, wrap and turn, no pickups heel. And I have done a video on that, and you can catch that in the playlist. So I worked on that. And then I did 2 more things. I did a beautiful embroidery piece. I bought a small kit from the Stitchery, and isn't this just gorgeous? I did this beautiful piece and I'm going to mount this into the top of a gorgeous burled old colonial display box. And this is going to be, I think I'm safe to say this because I don't think my daughter watches at all, but this is going to be for my daughter for her birthday. And so I love these beautiful soft colors. Embroidery, I've talked about this before. When I was in 4th grade, that was the very first acumen that I ever learned to do. And so I love, it's another one, anything with a needle and thread, you know I love it. And so I when Carrie and I were together back for StitchCon, she was talking to me, and I told you about this in an earlier video, and when I showed you some other embroidery that I was doing, and she was like, oh, you know, the periwinkle stitcher, Sean, you know, I just love her embroidery work and blah, 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 blah. And so we were talking about that and the stitchery, and that is where I got this piece to do. And of course, I put a whole much, you know, I did everything that was on the linen here, but I probably put 10,000 more French knots and added different things in different places. But that's the beauty of embroidery. You just kind of get going. And so I did that, but this will go in the window of the top of the box. But when you open the lid and you have to make a fabric covered bottom or a velvet covered bottom, I'm thinking I might do velvet. I wanted to make the inside as special as the outside. So I brought my tatting with me, and I tatted this medallion. And I did this is 8 weight pearl cotton that I used, and I tatted that, and I'm going to stitch it onto the velvet or the fabric on the underneath of the box. So on the top, when she's looking at her fancy box, it'll be like that, but when she opens it to put things inside of it, this will be on the inside of the lid where I'm sure I'm gonna use velvet. And I'll just stitch that down on there. So that's what I've been doing. So that's not a ton, but you are going to hear when I tell you in just a second about what's upcoming. I've just got so much going on, but so that is what I've been working on in my stitching time when I haven't been model stitching. But you know what? My haul is across the room. Give me just 1 second and I'll grab that, and then I'll show you what I've had come in. Hey, well, as I said, when I was showing you my piece, my Beatrix Potter sampler, by the Stitchy Box, I was inspired by my friend Jackie from Comfort Stitching, and she also talked about, there's a video which I've watched on YouTube, and it's called Miss Potter, and it's a wonderful movie about Beatrix Potter that tells a whole lot about her life. Well, Jackie also had given some recommendations for some books, and I was like, oh yes, please, because I love to learn and know everything about it. And funny thing is I have all of Beatrix Potter's books, children's books. When my children were small, they were my very favorite, and I could read them over and over and over again to my kids. That and Little House on the Prairie and Narnia. I read those repeatedly to my children. And so these are books about Beatrix Potter and things about her life, and it's just so neat. So I've been enjoying looking at these, and the first one is Beatrix Potter, A Life in Nature, and it's quite a big book, and it features you know, a whole lot about her and nature and her work. And this is by Linda Lear, and you can find this on Amazon. And I got this. And then as well, Martha McDowell wrote a book called Beatrix Potter's Garden Life, the Plants and Places That Inspired the Children's Classics. Oh my gosh. Mr. McGregor's garden. I mean, you can't help but think about that. So I got this book, and it's a nice hardcover. And again, that's by Martha McDowell. And then, I don't want to knock over my water. And then I also got The Art of Beatrix Potter's Sketches, Paintings, and Illustrations. This is a absolutely stunning book, and just so wonderful. And it says the magnificent collection celebrates the artist's the artist behind the 20th century's most beloved children's books, including The Tale of Peter Rabbit, The Tailor of Gloucester, and The Tale of the Two Bad Mice, brimming with famous images and rarely seen gems, including early sketches of now famous Rabbit family. And look at it, isn't that a beautiful picture of her? But so this is a beautiful, beautiful book, and I am so enjoying them. And Jackie was 1,000% correct. As you're stitching on the Beatrix Potter sampler, which it's been seen at the house. Sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down at Beatrix Potter's house. And I think it's been predominantly seen in the bedroom. They don't know who stitched the sampler. And so just to get into the life and the bones of Beatrix's life and see the wonderful, you know, just things in her life and learn how she grew up and see her sketch work. It's really, really, really neat. So I have so enjoyed those books and watching that movie. And Jackie, thank you so much. That really has been, it really richens and enhances the stitching as you're thinking about that and working on the Beatrix Potter sampler. I have that one and the second one, and just really enjoying the thought process behind that, because of course, you know, I love digging into history of samplers and just the lives of people who are creative. And so it's been really, really neat. And then I got one more thing. Now, Jackie said that she got hers very reasonably. I did not. I spent a fortune on this next book. But I have talked and showed you things about Berlin wool work that I absolutely love, and the whole discussion on history and things like that. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to buy that. Well, I searched for it and there was none that were inexpensive, Jackie. So I'm glad you got a deal, but it was worth every penny. And it is this book, and it is called Raphael Serena's Berlin Wool Work Samplers and Embroidery of the 19th Century. And Lacis and DMC are part of that. And I bought mine on eBay. I looked and looked and looked. I looked at Abe Books. I looked at thrift books. I looked everywhere trying to find it inexpensively. There was none left on Amazon, or maybe there was, but they're all expensive at this point. I think Jackie has jacked up the market. But this is an amazing book, and just the history, the photography, the charts, all the things, you can't go wrong. And you know, I've got books for everything. I love to read, I love to study, I keep my nose in all those things. So thanks, Jackie. I got 4 new books and they have really been really great. So that is my haul. So this is not going to be a very long video. So I'm gonna just tell you my upcoming plans now. So outside of today, the Be Ye Creative, I have already submitted to Needlework Retailer Magazine. I have 4 other patterns that will be coming out across August and September. Next month, on the 21st, is my little dog. Hello, Sadie. When I was trying to film before, Sadie came up the steps from my husband, and she stood right on the other side of the camera and barked at me. So she's just made her way tippy-tapping upstairs. Let's hope she doesn't start barking. If she does, many apologies. But anyway, back to what I was saying. August 21st will be a year since I launched my design company with you, and I have created a pattern that I think is beautiful, and it will be coming out. There will be another one that is coming out in August prior to that, that'll come out first in August, that I'm really, really excited about. And I did something very special on someone very special's box, and it will be coming out. And then I have 2 fall pieces that will be coming out in September, and I'm really excited about them. Worked real hard to get those all ready, and all the retailers will be getting a view of them soon, because they are going to be in the next Needlework Retailer Magazine. And so I got all that done. So over the course of the next short bit of time, there are going to be 4 more new releases, and so that's coming out. Like I said, I also will be producing the man cave video because everybody has wanted to, you know, their husbands, they catch the video tour of the mill, and everybody's like, I really wish you would just walk out in that garage. So of course that as soon as I get home and he finishes the countertops, I will film that immediately. So that is something coming up. And then another thing, I had hoped to have it out and done by now, but I had created a pattern for making the strawberries, and I put together a kit, but all of the components did not make it to me by the time I left. So the kits are all put together minus 1 or 2 little things that are at the Ohio house now. And so how that's going to work is you can purchase the pattern, the template pattern, and it will be available on the website. If you purchase the template PDF pattern on the Etsy shop, there a kit will not be available there, and I only ship to America. So I have many apologies, but with all the things going on with shipping across, you know, countries, it's kind of hard. And so but you still can get the template pattern, and when you buy the template pattern, inside the pattern there is a QR code and a link, and you can either QR code it or type in your link into YouTube, and guess what? You will have access to a full one-on-one tutorial where I go step by step and teach you how to make a strawberry pincushion. I really am thrilled about the kits. I will say this, I have beautiful wool for the top that came from Prairie Moon Primitives. And inside the kit, what you will get is literally physically every single thing that you need minus just a neutral sewing thread. What you will get, and you will have enough to make 2 strawberries, because inside of the kit there is the most beautiful pink velvet, and then there's the most beautiful red velvet. There's the wool for the tops. There is pearl cotton to accentuate your sewing of the strawberry top on there. There's ribbon. There are beads. So and there are 2 color beads. There are clear beads and there are black beads. So you'll be able to choose which one you want to do those on, but that way you can bead both of them, and you have, for the little seeds on the side, you can pick which one gets the crystal beads and get which one gets the black beads, because it just depends on how you want your seeds to show. You will need your neutral thread for that. So that's one thing you will need. I do in the tutorial give you a suggested availability if you don't have a sewing machine, how to hand sew it up the seam. You only have to sew 1 seam with a sewing machine. But if you don't have a sewing machine, I'm showing you in the video how to sew it without a sewing machine. But the rest of it's all handwork. There's fiber fill, there's 2 types of needles. So you have, there's a threader, everything you need to make your strawberry is in your kit, and you can make 2 strawberries. So I hope that you will enjoy that when that comes out. When I get home and I'm able to finish putting together the kit, you know, making sure that you had everything down to your needles, to your pearl cottons, your stuffing, everything. The only thing that I didn't include in the kit was the neutral thread. And if you would like to use lizard litter or emery, emery's very expensive, and so it would have really increased the price. But I show you in the video how you can use emery and stuff with your and lizard litter with your polyfill. But there's polyfill in the kit. If you wanted to put emery or lizard litter, you'll have to acquire that. So, but anyway, I tell you all about that in the video. So I'm excited because so many of you wanted me to do a tutorial on that. So I did a full-blown pattern and kit for you, and you will be able to forever be able to get to that video as long as you have your pattern. And so those are upcoming things. And then the very exciting news, I was asked to partake in, and be a teacher at a brand new event called the Threadworks Fair, and it will be June of 2026. Then it will be in New Harmony, Indiana, Cranberry Bog Cottage, and 1803 Ohio Farm Baskets, and we'll be hosting the event, and Teresa Kogut will be the headliner for the event, and you can come and meet her there. But there are availability to take classes, and the classes are several hours long, and I am going to tell you more and more about my class as time goes on. I'm pretty excited about it, but they are finishing up making their announcements and everything, and so as the year goes on, I'm going to continue to tell you about that, and I'm really excited. You can get on the Threadworks Fair website, and I will have the link below, and be watching social media. Follow them on social media. Follow all of us who are designers and teachers there, and it's going to be a really neat event. My classroom will be able to hold 30 participants, and there are 3 time slots to take a class. So about 90 of you will be able to take a class with me if you would be excited. My friend Sylvia, Running with Needles and Scissors, is going to be there. Robin Luckoff is going to be there as well. And so there are more designers and teachers that will be debuting, that they are going to be there in time going forward. And so I'm pretty excited about that. So Threadworks Fair, it has an X on the bottom of it, but like I said, I'll put a link below, and I'm super excited. The event has got a juried, you can enter your threadwork, your needlework there, and it's juried and prized event. And there will be vending. I will be vending as well there. And it's just, New Harmony is an amazing historic site. And so climb on there and find out all about that, and watch my social media, Threadworks Fair's social media, get on their website and follow all the designers who debut, that they will be there. And I'm pretty excited about that. But so now I think I've told you everything. So I think that does it for today, but I just didn't want it to linger on and not get on here and visit you any longer. I wanted to get on and catch up. So that's my new release, that's my stitching, that's my haul, and that's my updates, but I think that'll do it for now. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and I think that'll do it for today. So until I see you again, I wish you many happy stitches, my friends. Bye-bye for now.